Welcome to this next film in the series Practical Gundog Training. My name's Nick Ridley and this is young Twig here, who's 2 years old. If you watched the previous film, we were working on building up her ladder training, that is running out in a straight line, and in that film we were using a grass track. So I've been working on that over the last few weeks and increasing her distance, but also then we've worked on putting the dummies out in a ladder while she's in the car, so then they're working as, in essence, their blinds. So she's really cottoned onto that very well. So now I'm progressing on to working on a rough grass area. Again, from practical shooting terms, quite often I'll be working a dog along a hedge line here. A bird will get up, get shot, and it'll land out along the rough area alongside the hedge. So I want my dogs to know that when I send them out, regardless of whether it's a ploughed field or whether it's a rough area, and it might be cover crop, for example, or headland, they're going to run out in a straight line. Now, the hedge works in two ways, actually. It will, one, give her a line to run, but also it's a bit of a distraction as well, because by virtue of her wanting to hunt the hedge, she's got to learn that when I say, no, there's a retrieve there, I don't want her going into the hedge to hunt, I just want you to go straight out for the retrieve. So we'll set this up. I'm going to start off with a fairly close one to start with. I'm going to be using the RRT dummies again, but actually what I'm going to do is put the green one first, and then I've got a series of blue ones which are more visible to her. Now obviously we want our dogs eventually to be using their noses, we don't want them to see the retrieve necessarily. But in this situation where it's a new exercise, the grass is quite long, I just want to use something that's very visible for her to help her confidence at this stage. And then we can move on to using obviously the green ones, which she can't see so well, and perhaps even red ones, which are, she'll almost be blind to. So anyway, I'm going to set this exercise up and we'll see how she gets on. So to begin with, I'm going to put 3 dummies out. There's my first one. I'm letting her see them at this stage. Second one, the grass is quite long, so that's the reason I'm using these blue and white dummies. And there's that one. I'm just walking off the line slightly because I don't want to use in my foot scent necessarily. Got my dummies set out. I set up for the first one. Fetch it. Now again, she's just indicating on that second one, so I need to get on my recall whistle nice and quickly. Just like I did up on the track, I'm going to slow everything down. I'm not going to send her straight away, I don't want to anticipate in what I'm doing. Fetch it. A little bit harder now. Come back on that. The wind's just coming in our face, so it's just helping her a little bit. Good girl. May notice again, I'm just moving my right foot round the side of this board just to stop that running around. Now we're sending for the third one. Fetch it. Bit of a more positive command then. Lovely. Just overrun the board. Good girl, well done. Nicely done. Good girl. Wait. So that was actually quite neat and tidy, that. I'm quite happy with that. Running through the long grass, especially for a spaniel, it's not necessarily what they want to do is just run in a straight line. They want to go off and hunt. So you're going against all their natural instincts, really. But she did that really nicely. So what we'll do now, we'll put 4 dummies out and we'll stretch it a little bit further. I've got 4 dummies out this time now, so I'm increasing the distance further and further. I'm probably, I'd say probably 50 metres out now. Really the maximum I think I'm going to be looking for is about 100 metres. I wouldn't expect to send a spaniel in a straight line much more than that. Even that may be a bit too far really, but I'd rather overtrain, and then I know I can deal with anything should it be a bit closer. So again, first one's there, and then we've got going out to that last post. We'll see how she gets on with this lot. Fetch it. Good girl. Good, here. Good. Good. Now you notice that I'm not using my recall whistle when she's coming back, because she's coming back in a nice straight line. If she decides to go off and run around this long grass, then I'll use it as a kind of a little tug. No, come on, let's get you back online again. That's lovely, that's good. Second one. Fetch it. See now, she's just running past them and then turning back in on the wind, which is lovely, so that's good. Nice. Good girl, well done. Yes, good girl. Fetch it. A little bit of a firmer command this time. Lovely. So they're the three that she's done before. Decided to come back a slightly longer way. Good. Wait. So they're the first three that she's already done. So she kind of knew they were there. But now she's got to go past that last one now onto the furthest one. The other thing you've got to bear in mind with this, she's actually going past 3 lots of scent now, because of the first 3 dummies she's picked have all left little scent pockets. So she's got to realise that, no, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there, I've got to keep going on it. Not easy for these young dogs. Fetch it. Lovely, she's carried on that and she's got up to the last one. That's lovely, well done. Good girl, nice. Good girl. On your board. Sit. Sit. That was lovely, right. So she's pretty well kind of nailed that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move the first 2 posts and I'm going to move everything further back up the field. So I'm going to do away with these 2 posts and replace them at the back. So I'm actually going to be pushing her further and further now. She's actually doing this really nicely. Okay, I've moved the first 2 posts now, they're further back. I'm probably not far off of my 100 metres now of where I want to send her. And like I said, that's probably about as far as I think I would expect a spaniel to run in a straight line. Slightly more difficult for her now because there's obviously 2 scent pockets early on where those 2 closest ones were. And there's nothing on the far ones. Also, in between the 3rd and the 4th one now, there's a lane. I've got a mowed ride in the grass. So that's actually going to be a little bit more difficult for her because she's got to go across that. A lot of dogs will hit her, we call it an obstacle basically, but it can be a ride. They'll hit that and want to hunt along it. So she's got to go across that and pick her retrieve. I shall do a video on obstacles and how we can train to get the dogs to go through and over and under various obstacles. So we'll try this and see how she gets on with this. Fetch it. So she's gone past the first 2. That was the 3rd one originally. Good girl, yeah. Good girl, well done, good. Fetch it. I'm up with my positive commands now because I need him to push her on a little bit further. That would have been the last one, so that's number 2. So these next 2 are going to be the 2 difficult ones for her. Good girl, steady, steady. Good girl, you didn't have that properly, did you? Hey? Good. So again, I'm just going to up my command now. I'm going to be not loud, but I'm going to be positive for it because I'm pushing her onto new ground, if you like. Fetch it. That's a nice run out. And there you go, that's the 3rd one. That was nice, happy with that. Good girl. Good girl. Right, I'm just going to calm her down a little bit now. She's getting a little bit hot about that. Good girl. So this is the furthest she's been in this exercise now. Fetch it. That's a lovely run out. Past the 1, 2, 3. There's the ride. She's gone across the ride up to number 4. I'm very pleased with that. That was nice. Good girl. Good. Good girl. Sit. Okay, my next stage for this now, just in case people are thinking that dogs can get used to running to the stakes, and she's running to the stake rather than where the dummy is running in a line. I'm now going to take the stakes away and just put 1 dummy up there on a straight line. So this is her test now. I've taken all the stakes away, removed them all, and I've put a dummy out probably just past where the last one was, probably about 100 metres and a bit. So she's got no stakes to run to now. That said, for her confidence, I'm still using the same piece of ground that we've been doing this exercise on. Obviously the next stage with this is that I'll move on to fresh ground, leave her in the car, put a blind out, which I won't video, but that will be my next kind of stage on from this. So now for her, she's got to run past 6 pieces of ground scent where the 6 dummies have been, obviously the 2 earlier ones and then the 2 later ones. And because I put it slightly further on from the last one, I'm testing whether she'll still keep running till she finds her retrieve. It's very easy to keep training things you know your dogs can do. That doesn't teach them anything. Every now and again you've got to just do that little bit extra, just test them, and it will just put a context of where your training actually is. It's a common fault of novice trainers. They always go out and do what they know their dogs can do because it makes them feel good, but ultimately the dogs are not learning anything. I'm going to have to give her a good positive command here because I've got to try and punch her out that kind of distance. Fetch it. So she's going up her normal line. She's still going nice. Lovely. That's where the last one was roughly. Still on. And she's picked it. That's lovely. I'm very, very pleased with that. Good girl. Good girl. Here. Bit of a fumble. Here. Good girl. Well done. Good. Really happy with that. That's a good little training session there. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please subscribe and like. Share it if you think there's anybody that you know might be interested. My name's Nick Ridley. This was Little Twig, and this was Practical Gundog Training, and we'll be back soon with another video. Good girl. Good girl.